Hello. Hey. Hey, Evs. There's no way I can read what you write there. Beautiful letters, but I don't know Russian. Would be cool though. Pretty sure my aunt knows Russian. She lived there for a few years. Who else is with me besides Jeffs? And it's good to see you again, man. Hi, Magnus. Let me turn down the music a little bit. If you hear some background noise during the day, I feel like that construction thing is still going on. It's no biggie, but there might be a few drills and whatnot during the day. We'll be fine, I think. I think we'll be fine. Hey, Anne-Marie. Or is it Anne-Marie? It could be like Anne-Marie, but just shorter. I'm a hot Mexican guy. Come dance with me. What? Okay. Here we go. I love that comment. I feel like a lot of the tutorial today is Anne-Marie. Okay. I remember that. A lot of the tutorial stuff we're gonna do today is stuff you wanted to do with sidechain and the low end thing. So I hope I can pass on a few tricks for you. Hey, if everyone watching could just hit the like button or something, that would be great, because that means that it'll be spread out to more people and we can grow together. That would be pretty fucking sweet. No pressure though. Only if you want to. What I'm playing here in the background, by the way, is an outro to a song. Wasn't it the very first song we made together? I think so. You tell me, was this not the song we made the very first day, if anyone was present? I'm pretty sure that was the very first thing we did. Well, the way that song turned out for me is that I found it to be best when it was short and short and sweet. So I think the main part of this song is just about 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, and I was kind of like, that's enough. So I wanted to do an outro though, because I came up with that synth thing that you just heard. So yeah, at the moment it goes from, let's just play that to get going, get the stream going. Breathe against the soul, let your world class hang over. I don't mean no harm. I don't mean no. I don't mean no. Saw you looking late, but I caught you. I never found the group I belong to. Yeah, that's what I got so far for the outro. I think it's pretty sweet. Um, really bouncy and a little bit off. Thanks, Akash. Um, because there was something weird groove wise going on. And I don't know about you guys, but I really love when something happens and you can't fully explain why it works, but it does work. So all of these plus the bass, everything that hits those notes are delayed by like, what is it? They're delayed by 17.5 milliseconds. So that's all of it. That's thank you so much, Frederik. That means a lot to me. I think we're gonna use this song and this specific part as the way of talking about low end and at side chaining, and then we could also get into sort of sorry guys, I had this one on top of my push and that didn't work out. Then you get that. But we could go a little bit into automation, like subtle automation, because that's what this part is all about. I'll write it down and we'll see if it makes any sense to go into it. Okay. But yeah, I think what you said, Frederik, is really true because, like, back in the day. Hi, Berlin, Louise. Happy you're following. Yeah, so two things. I'm really hello. So I'm really trying to do something more minimal than I have been doing stuff for like the past 5 years or whatever. I'm not entirely sure how long I was really maximizing the entire thing. Hi, Albert. Good to see you again, man. I just it's about the small things. What I've found is that the more transparency you have in the soundscape, the more small details you can make, and the smaller the detail, almost the more you notice it. It's a strange thing, but the more sounds you're dealing with in a song, the more of a change you need to actually catch the attention of the listener. But if you have something extremely naked going on, and then you add just a tiny detail, all of a sudden, it's just night and day. So you can really do yourself a favor and make sure that you love every single little sound that you put in there, because if not, they'll just make it more, they'll just take up all the space. DJ Yevs writes a delay on a verge of reverb. It might be. Let's just check out what it is. I'm not entirely sure. I think what you're talking about is this Tvingström thing. Is it this? Yeah, it must be. Man, that is just a spectacular sound. I mean, I think I've talked about it before. I'm spring reverb alcoholic. It's for sure my favorite type of reverb because it's the one with the most vibe, and you can see in this song I have two different kinds. I have the Tvingström, but I also use the Spring Age. And just a quick note on what a spring reverb is. I mean, we can try to. I'll just change the camera while I Google search for an image of it, because it's really interesting. So, oops. like this. This is a spring reverb, and it just has an in and out. You can here in the white one, you send this sound in through a cable, and then you get it out here, and it really is the sound going through an actual spring. That is a spring reverb. It's the smallest kind. It's it was the first. It's the kind that was always in guitar amplifiers, but also in like home organs and stuff. They're almost always mono, but they just have a vibe. And I think that they really shine when because something strange is going on in the mid range or whatever. So I mean, compare this to, I don't know, if we take this spring reverb out, and this is a strange spring reverb, but let's just put in a completely normal reverb instead, and we can hear the big difference, and it's going to be way less interesting in itself. So this is sort of like, turn it up. Is it loud enough for you guys? Maybe I can turn it up a little bit, like that. This is sort of like if you're in a car park, right? In a completely concrete car park, and you're in one end of it, and you can see a guy with a speaker playing a song on the other end, and you only hear the reverb. And this is really good to make sort of subtle things, and you can shift the room and whatever, but it's not an interesting sound in itself, at least not to me. But if we use the Tvangström here, it's just all of a sudden it's vibes for days. So this is a take on the spring reverb by one of my favorite companies, Yuhi, where you can modulate all kinds of things, and it's not really meant to sound super real, but it can also do that. But I just love it for its sort of the hybrid spring reverb / more of a modulation effect stuff. But I think that was what you were talking about, Yevs. I'm forgetting my coffee, and that's dumb, because I do love my coffee. And I'm trying to open the lid right now. But what's going on with you guys? I mean, you can give a quick, because is it a week since I streamed last time around? But I've been kind of busy, sort of making some order of the songs that we already wrote together, and I'm trying to see if I have enough to begin finishing an album and making them sound alike and figuring out stuff. And why is it boring? But that's what I've been doing, and honestly, it's been a little bit of a drag sometimes, and I wish that I could do more streaming. But it's just it's a strange process to make interesting for you. So today I'm gonna do a tutorial, and while I finish the album, what I'm thinking is that I will do more tutorials and more of like challenges, just stuff around, and then maybe a little bit fewer than when we wrote the album. But I really want it done, so I'm gonna focus on that for the next. I don't know. I think it's gonna take me a month or so, and it's gonna be like a 10-track album. And my dream is a couple of singles out before summer, and then I hear you, Yevs. I hear you, man. Yeah, and maybe the album out right after summer, or maybe just keep dropping single songs until then. I'm not fully sure yet, but I do know that I would love to just get going with it, and then straight after finishing the album, we're just gonna dive right back into it and start another one, and do it pretty much exactly the same way we did with this one, because it's the most it's the most fun. That's a good idea, Yevs. That's a really good idea. Um, it's the most fun I've had making music for many, many years. So I don't know. I just want to go straight back into it. If that blanket that is on the right side of the screen annoys me, does that make me a control freak? I'm just gonna fix it because the colors don't match at all. Better. All right. More small talk, or do you want the tutorial? Both is fine with me. Before we start, though, I would like to hear from one person who's watching the stream who hasn't written anything in the chat yet. That would be fun, because it is nice for me to know who's watching. Yeah, man, we need the money. Construction work. That's a good way of getting it. And it's very different from the music making, because you can get some... Hi, Gustav. Because you can get some frustrations out, I guess. That is you, Marcus. Yes, I haven't heard from you yet. I don't think so, Marcus Ambrosius. You know what? That, to me, sounds like a Roman emperor. Are you... You know, like in... what's it called? That stupid movie... The Da Vinci Code? Where you find out she's like she's the last one who's blood related to Jesus Christ. I think you might be the last person alive who has a blood bond with Julius Caesar or something. Marcus Ambrosius. You know what? You should be a sculptor. No, not a sculptor, but a sculptor. You should do sculptures. It would be the perfect name for someone who does sculptures. Maybe I'm not getting more people to write in the chat when I'm just roasting the ones who do. But here we are. Okay, I think maybe we should start now. But honestly, I really enjoy the name, Marcus Ambrosius. I'm a little bit jealous because my name is Esben Andersen and it's just so fucking boring. Okay, let's... Okay, I'm not alone, Marcus. That's good to hear. But you should ask your mom if by any chance you have some Italian descendants. And if you ever go to Rome, if people just spontaneously start bowing to you, maybe there's something you don't know yet. Okay, so as I promised, let's part 2 tutorial. We're going to talk about sidechaining for a second. Or maybe many seconds, because there is a lot to talk about. I always have this track going in my arrangement. It's a default thing. Good idea, Marcus. Do that, man. I'm excited to hear what happens. Okay. Sorry, need to find my focus, and here it is. Okay, sidechaining. I have this specific track always. Most people do that. It's just a place where you put a trigger. Oftentimes the sidechain, and if anyone doesn't know what sidechain is, it is that you can create that ducking effect. You can, okay, so let's maybe overdo it, and I'm just gonna pull in a pretty nonsensical sample. Let's do like I don't even know. Since we have Marcus Ambrosius with us today, let's use this sample called Ancient Rome. That I have no idea what it is, but let's just use that as an example because it's too perfect to ignore. Okay, so let me add some sidechain here. So I don't know if you can hear, but on every quarter note, the waveform sort of does like, it ducks. And that would be every time there's a kick. Let's just add the kick, you can hear it. And now I'm gonna bypass the sidechain. Okay, so it does that thing where every time the kick comes in, the rest of the music ducks down and then pretty quickly goes back up to the same volume it was before. It's the most used trick in dance music today and has been since, like, I think the first time I really noticed the effect was Daft Punk's Discovery album with like Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger and whatever, all those songs, One More Time. They all have that thing going on, and since then it has just been more and more and more. So what happens is that you take a compressor and instead of compressing it because of the actual signal in the audio file, it listens to the kick drum instead, or whatever else you want it to be sidechained to. And then you can create the ducking thing. And usually in Ableton, what people would do is add the compressor on a single track. Then, let me zoom in, press this arrow here, choose sidechain, maybe go to, okay, so I have to, maybe choose the kick or whatever, and then it does the same thing. You lower the threshold. And here you can see that line is the volume going up and down. And if we change the attack, it'll be smoother, and the release, it'll take longer until it goes back to 0. Okay, so that's normally how it's done, and it pretty much is the way I do it too, but I have created a way of doing more of a global type of sidechaining, but it's still on a per track basis. So I have this sidechain track. On it, I have the trigger. All of this is still normal. But then on that track, apart from the sampler, I have this. And what is it? Well, it's an Ableton rack. And it's kind of like just a dummy rack, because the only reason I've racked it is to be able to use this plugin. Yeah, it does sound like chopped and screwed. What I can do with this one is that if I put this master thing before an Ableton compressor, and then also create a slave, which I've done over here. Let me just move them side by side for now. Here's the slave, here's the master. Then everything I do in this one over here will be mirrored to the one over here. So you can see I'm changing the ratio on the master, but it also changes the ratio on the slave. Same with attack, same with everything. Well, everything except for the dry wet, because the dry wet I locked to a macro on the slave, and that is intentional. I'll tell you why a little bit later. But this is a Max for Live thing. It's made by a guy called Yarhammer. Let's just push that link and we can go there. I'm pretty sure, is it? Yeah, it's €4. It's €4 for this thing. And it is pretty spectacular. And it's something you can put in front of not only the compressor in live, but every other effect in live. But you can also use it with third-party plugins if you've added parameters to it. So it's fucking great, because what I, for a long time, had happened to me is that I was making a song and I added sidechains to maybe, I don't know, oftentimes like 10 tracks, maybe more. Some subtle, some not so subtle. But then if I wanted to experiment with the timing of the sidechain compressor, it was extremely difficult, because I had to go into all 12 at the same time, or one at a time. And it was time consuming. It wasn't musical. I couldn't remember the way it sounded before. It was sort of like doing it in the dark, and I didn't like it. So instead, I thought, well, why not use this Max for Live thing and make one master sidechain compressor? And that one will share the threshold, ratio, attack, and release with every slave sidechain compressor. The only thing that it won't share is this dry wet knob. And instead of dialing up the ratio, I can just dial in the dry wet then. And the more wet it is per instance of it, the more I sidechain compress it. But then I can listen to what it does to the song and the groove of the song and the waviness of the song if I change all of the timings at once. So that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm using the YA group. The master one I'm putting on one instance of the Ableton compressor, and then I use the YA slave Max for Live thing. And if you buy it for those €4, there's a master and a slave. And it's quick to set up, and then you can just save it as a whole. So you only have to do it once, and then it's ready. Because what you might have seen me do before is just that this is now my sidechain compressor. And whenever I want to use a sidechain compressor, I've put in a keystroke in Ableton. I think it's skråstreg. I'm not sure what that's called in English. But over here, I just selected the SC with the key thing, pressed the button, and then say I'm on the Solina track and I want a sidechain. I just press the button. It goes straight to my sidechain track, and then I copy it. I just copy it into my Solina track, for instance, if that's where I need it. And then I start finding out how much I want to sidechain it. So that means that per track, I only have one control, and that is the mix. This way, you get a much more combined and collected sidechain sound than if you had 14 different ones all over your arrangement, all over your project, but there wasn't a specific timing to them. I went one step further and decided that I wanted 2 instances of it. I wanted one that I call sidechain slow and one that I call sidechain fast. Because oftentimes I feel like I need one that is sort of a little slower and more like has that and one where it just goes down right as the kick hits, where it's more of a mixing thing rather than a effect. So I've made 2, and then whenever I need a sidechain, I just decide, yeah, this is probably going to be the fast one or it's going to be the slow one. So let's try to keep this thing going. Well, I'm going to just mute everything here, and except for the drums and this sample. Okay, so that's fine, but maybe I want to change it. So instead of changing the timing on the track, now I just do it on the master sidechain. And I'm thinking I want it faster, like maybe super fast, let's try that. And maybe harder, so I'm going to lower the threshold. Even more. And now we got that full. And I mean, now you can hear it just, this is just on one track that you can hear it, but it would be the same if I had it spread out over 10 or 15, where I this quickly can change the entire musicality of the sidechain rather than have to do it track by track. Because that way just wasn't working for me. So let's just, it's going to be a little bit, let's just use what's in the actual song here. And then you can hear what's going on. So I'm pretty sure it was a 32.5 minus. Okay, so one thing I'm hearing right now is that I think we should add a little bit of sidechain compressor to the spring reverb actually, because that is just too static for me right now. So and that should be a subtle thing, I think. But let's do it. I'm just gonna add the sidechain thing. It's the simple pleasure, chefs. It is. So I'll add some simple sidechaining here to just this effect. And that will make that one rhythmic as well. And you know what? Let's just say 65 here, and then I'm gonna automate it so that in the first part it's only 25. Let's say that. Now I know it's because I turned it up earlier. Then 65 is probably too much. Yes, Marcus, this is my song. This is what I'm working on right now. This is going to be on the album. Okay, so let's see. There's a little bit of let's add a little bit of a sidechain compressor on both the bass and the synthesizers here. Let's just overdo it, and before I do that, I'm gonna save it so that I can go back. That's cool, Yevs. That's the exact movement I'm going for. Either that or back and forth. It's up to you, but definitely it needs that pendulum movement for sure. Okay, so I added the sidechain there, and then also to the UK bass. Let's do that. And then I'm pretty sure it was on Divas, right? Yeah. Let's overdo it just for you to hear now. And it's so much more fun that it's my song rather than the other ones. Yeah, no, man. Me too. Missing both going to concerts and playing concerts. But I don't think we're that far away from it anymore. And once society is ready for concerts, I will have this song ready to go, and I can play it at the concerts, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. Thanks, Louisa. Yeah, man, I miss it too. Let's not get caught in being too nostalgic about it. Okay, last thing I want to add it to was the string part. Oh, I already did. Cool. All right, so now I added the same slave side chain to pretty much all of the tracks where stuff is happening now, besides the drums. So let's start out by basically having none. Glad to hear that, Marcus. Okay, so basically here we have no... Oh, sorry, man, I forgot the screen. And yeah, Albert, you're on me, that's good. I would definitely say 50% of the times I forget to put the screen back on. Albert has a good eye for that. Okay. So as you can see here, on the gain reduction, there's basically nothing going on. So let's do a lot more. I'm gonna lower the threshold until it starts bouncing. Actually, sorry, let's just do one last thing, and that is to add it to the back, because there's not a lot going on in it right now, and that is so such a big part of the song right now, so it'll make more sense to test it with a sidechain on. Okay. So now you can hear it is. It's basically gone because I'm sidechain compressing it so hard that it almost doesn't have it almost doesn't have any time to get back up to 0. So let's change the timing a bit and up the threshold a bit. So, I like this simplicity of being able to quickly dial in and feeling that I enjoy. And actually I didn't find it yet, I would say. So let's just look for it a little bit more. And it's always easier, a little trick is to, if you completely overdo the threshold thing, and the sound vanishes completely, it is easier, I feel like, to set the timing of the compressor, and then you can start dialing the threshold back up. Because right now, I mean, it is kind of nice because it does have that. I don't know, a guy like Kaytranada, for instance, he smashes that sidechain compressor, and it's on everything except for the kick, and it sounds fantastic. I often want a little bit more of a classic sound, so I don't use it that much. I'm more going for something where it sways, but it doesn't disappear. Oh, and then one more trick is that I have this other Max for Live thing, and it's called SCK tempo multiples. I'm not sure. I think that's about €5 as well or something. But what I can do with this one is that I can see what the tempo translates to in milliseconds. So for instance, if I wanted to fit the 8th note, I know that that's about 65 milliseconds by looking here. So that means that I can set the release to be about an 1/8. And then it becomes very rhythmic. Oftentimes I would say I have the best results by not following the math, but just using my ears. But there are times where it's a good thing to sort of start out by looking at what an 1/8 note is in milliseconds, and then I can work from there, for instance. So I like the bounce of this, and now we're just going to dial back the threshold until I feel like it has the sway that I want. Okay, so that is fine, and then I will start dialing it in on the various tracks because I just put it up to 100 now. This is basically, I could talk more about it, and if you have any questions to sidechaining, let me know. But this is the way that I get my sidechains to work together, to have a sound together rather than have them at like 10 different timings and losing all bounds. And I would say, especially if you want to overdo sidechain compression and get that K-Tronadas type sound, and you use Ableton, because that is a must for using this technique. But then it really is a nice way of doing it. And I will upload these. No, actually, I can't, because in that case, I would crack these Max for Live devices, I think. You know what? It is easy. If you download the YA group thing, there's a short description of how to do it, and you can set it up yourself. But I can't share this one with you. It would be illegal. I wouldn't want that. Hej Mitchie, tak skal du have. Also want to ask Berlin Louise a quick question. Are you from Berlin or living in Berlin or anything Berlin related? While we get the answer to that, I'm going to check out my notes. Okay. I think I pretty much... okay. How long have you lived in Berlin? Oh, cool. And how old are you? Like how old were you when you moved down there? Wow, that's cool. Yeah, man, I think I was 24 when I moved there. 18. But I mean, it's not like it's in no way a dangerous place. I felt maybe even more safe and sort of at home there than, well, anywhere else, I guess. How do you like it? Yeah. I mean, it's the same here, but it definitely makes it more difficult to feel a part of the city. Do you study there or work, or what do you do? Well, that's the good thing about Berlin is you don't have to work much to be able to pay the rent, or at least that was the case when I lived there. I honestly pretty much lived off of my SU there, but I do think it is more expensive now. But I'm pretty sure I paid like 1,200 Danish kroner in rent. This is 10 years ago, of course, but even then it was dirt cheap. And I didn't. If you work a little bit, be proud of yourself. I didn't work a single day when I lived in Berlin. I'd worked before we left, and I spent some savings, but apart from that, I just tried to live like a fucking bum. and it worked out fine. It, but okay, what is the work? What am I distracting you from? No, I guess you can't work that much right now. Cool. Just a few more questions. Where in Berlin do you live? Which part? I lived in Kreuzberg the last year or so. Hermannplatz, yeah, for sure. And then I had a studio in Neukölln, but that was more like down at I think it was the stop called Leinestraße, perhaps. So a few, maybe 3 stops further south or something. Cool. Yeah, that's where I wrote most of Beekeeper, actually. Yeah. And then you have the big cemetery, right? Um, yeah, the building where I had my studio, the garden faced in towards the cemetery. Okay, that's pretty cool. It is a nice area. I really often dream myself back to living there. But then again, I mean, pretty much all of my close friends now are people that I met in Berlin back then. Thank you, Peter. Uh, yeah, so but basically all of us moved to Copenhagen here afterwards. But it took a while from being in Berlin and then till we were together again. I think like maybe 5 or 6 years until everybody was back together. But that has just been the crew that I've stuck with, I guess. Okay, but I'm glad you're here. Now I think I want to go to the next part of the tutorial, which is about mm, this is not about getting that pumping effect. Frederik, are you still with us? Because this next trick is something that I think could do a big difference to you, or these next 2 tricks, because sidechaining is pretty obvious. I'm just, if he isn't here right now, I'm gonna ping him on Discord because I think he wants to hear it. Cool. All right. So 2 things that I use to specifically uh, get control over the low end is the plugin called Track Spacer, and also the sidechain function in ProQ3, dynamic sidechain function. So let's start out with the Track Spacer. What is that? As it's a plugin. It looks like this, and it does one thing, but it does it well. You can set the sidechain here in Ableton to actually, Frederik, I can't remember if I asked you, but do you use Ableton? I mean, it doesn't with this specific thing. It doesn't really matter because you can of course use track spacer in every other DAW, but it's just I'll try to remember it going forward. But the thing you do with this one is and you can even tell if it just okay, cool, well, definitely makes it easier. So right now I'm using a bass line, this one. Let's get rid of that one. Now I don't know, oh sorry, screen, yes. Good. And good that you could exactly, Albert. I was about to say he gave you a break. That's good. Okay. So right now, it's actually, you pretty much can't hear any side chaining going on, right? But that's because what we're doing is way more surgical side chaining. And it's side chaining that is not meant to create so much an effect as it's meant to create space in the mix. All you can do in this plugin, well, basically, is that you set the thing you want it to be sidechained to. In this case, I'm doing the kick, and that's often what it is. Then you can set a low cut and a high cut, and then an amount. And right now, the amount is low, and when I use this plugin, it's almost always subtle. I kind of only dial it up until the point where I just can start to hear it do something, and then that's it. So let's start by having it at 0 to begin with. This is the sound itself. There's no sidechain going on. And now I'll start dialing it up slowly. And now you can hear it do something. Now it kind of starts to sound like a sidechain, although I'm not sure if it translates through your speakers, but you can still you still hear a little bit more of the mid-range, and if there was any highs in this sound, you would be able to hear that too, because this plugin analyzes the frequencies of the sidechain, and then the more, for instance, this kick, you can see that it lowers it way more at 50 than it does at, let's say, 250 hertz. So down here, it lowers it way more than up here. And sometimes it's even more specific and surgical. But then you can start low cutting or high cutting, and maybe I only want this to do something from under 115 hertz. So now you still have some sound going on, and it's only cutting out the bass. It's only sidechaining the bass. And this might not sound great on its own, but if we bring in the kick, and now I'm taking the amount all the way off. So now we have no sidechain going on. And it doesn't need much because I produced it fine already, so they go well together. But maybe something like this, 10%. It's so subtle, but this is going to create 4 dB more of headroom or something like that in the mix, and that is super important, and it will give a little bit of a bounce. But this is more of a mixing thing rather than an effect thing. So simple plugin. I mean, I think you can press here and then you get access to some attack and release and panning. I mean, maybe once I've tried a little bit with the attack and release once in a while. I think this default setting is fine. But if you want more control over that, you can get it. Let's see if we can make it sound better. Maybe I can learn something right now. That's all the way on. It could maybe be a little bit faster if I wanted it to, but who cares? I'm pretty sure they set those numbers for a reason. They sound transparent to me. So yeah, let's do about a ratio of 10 or 10%. I think this sounds great, and it gives me a little bit more headroom. And this is a pretty new plugin for me. I don't think you've seen me use it a lot because I've bought it like 2 weeks ago or something, and it has made a difference for sure. But do not overuse it. Use it subtly, and it can really make things easier for you. If you don't want to buy another plugin, but you already have ProQ free, maybe you do. It's a good plugin. If you have that one, you can kind of do the same thing. The way I would do that, and this is the way I did it before I had Track Spacer, but I don't know, I just wanted something that was even easier. I'll take the kick as the sidechain, add a band right here. Let me zoom in. And then I'll probably do a low shelf, and let's say everything under, whatever, 120. Then I'll press this guy and say, let's say -6. And instead of auto, this is the dynamic EQ part of the EQ. I'll press this button, and now it's set to the sidechain. This blue motherfucker. And now you can see every time the kick is there, it lowers it dynamically. You can set the threshold here, but it doesn't have an attack and release. This is all it can do. If it had attack and release, I'd be jamming with it even more, but it's a little bit slow in its attack and release, so it works, and it definitely sets it. It helps the mix. But two things it doesn't do is that it doesn't analyze the thing that it's being sidechained to. It's just a volume. It doesn't look at the frequencies, so you don't get that frequency specific way of cutting that you do with the Track Spacer. But it's there, and it's really good, and I often use it. That was a strange way of ending that sentence, but and I often use it. Really seems like I was about to say more. Yeah, man. That is the the sidechain things that I do in my mix. I don't even know, man. Could some of it be done with Ableton stuff? Could you set I mean, I guess you could use a multiband dynamics only to cut the. If you take away both the mids and the highs, and you only have the lows, maybe you can set the sidechain there. I think I've done that a couple of times. I don't love it for it. I don't love this multiband dynamics that much, actually. It's just, I don't know why. But I think you can do it with that one. But the Ableton EQ doesn't have the dynamics part of it. Okay. Another question from Frederik, and I think we should move on to that, is actually, let me just see what time it is. It's 15:13. What do you guys think? Should we do a little bit more of a tutorial or move on to a challenge of a kind? I'm open to both. So let's see. What I wanted to do a tutorial about is low-end control. That is ways I get my sub basses to sound great. But we can do that another time, or we can do it now. Up to you. Let me hear what you think. Okay, Frederik. Let me check it out. I think I remember trying this one and liking it a lot, and just I had this feeling that it was pretty CPU expensive. That it just that was my feeling, that it used a lot of CPU. But all of the Tokyo Dawn things, this specific brand, they are their label as well. But all of their audio plugins are amazing. So try that. And to Anne-Marie, I think all of the DAWs, you can use them for whatever. None of them are really genre specific. Maybe until or before Ableton 11, Ableton was not that good for recording stuff because you had to make a new audio track every time. But now you can record vocals and other instruments exactly as well as you can in Logic and Cubase and Pro Tools. So I think it's a matter of, do you like the interface or not? And what I like about Ableton is that everything goes together. I pretty much always have my browser open over here. Then I have the way the song is set up, the arrangement, and then I can mix using this small mixer over here. Whereas when I was in Cubase, and what I've also seen in Logic, is you switch screen a lot. And in Ableton, it's all in one screen. And maybe you like that, maybe you don't. But it does look a little bit toyish to new eyes because of I think the color scheme is a little ugly. But I've gotten completely used to it. And there are some stuff that I can do in Ableton quickly that would take me a long time to do in any other program. But honestly, yeah, it's about workflow, because you can make any genre in any DAW. Yevs thinks we should do a challenge. What does everyone else think, is what I'm trying to say. You can write it. You can write it in the comments, and I'm just gonna play this outro one more time and go pee in the meantime, and I'll be back in a few minutes. I don't mean no. But I caught you. I never found who I belong to.
Saw you looking away, but I caught you. I never found a group I belong to.
Yeah, Marcus.
Never found a group I belong to.
Okay. Let's do a challenge. Hey, I'm gonna use this second to invite you to the Discord if you aren't already a part of it, because if you have any sounds you want to share for the challenge, this is by far the easiest place to do that. I think I already shared the link on Facebook, but you know what? I'm just gonna do it again real quick. And here on Twitch as well. 1 second. So yeah, if you join us in there, we have like the discussion is just ongoing. It's a way better place than, I don't know, Facebook or Instagram or whatever, to do actual conversations. It's way easier. You can share stuff with me. I can share stuff with you, where we have a music suggestion thing where you can get new stuff that would be cool to hear. There's music feedback corner where you can share your music and I'll give you some feedback on it. We even have a fucking meme page. You need that, right? And this is sample this thing, and that is what I want to use now. There's two things, and actually there was this otter makes adorable noises, and then when I pressed it, it was erased. Yes, it depends on what sounds I've got. I'll download a few, and then we'll decide from there. Maybe I'll listen to them, and then you also have to give me a genre. Which one did you send, Anne Marie? Was it the Pingo one? Because I think for sure we can get that to work. Whatever. I'm just gonna take another otter video. This is gonna be great. Maybe I can make some sort of instrument out of it. Okay, that worked. Then I'm gonna Okay. And back to the screen. Okay. I'm opening up fresh new arrangement. And let's see. Oops. Actually, I will have to open that again sometime. Because I had fucked something up. In the meantime, we had this thing going of me letting you know about a song I think you should hear. And since I can't play it, I'm just going to write the name of it and tell you why I think it's good. And this one is called Impact. And it is a Soul Wax remix of S.G. Lewis and Robin and Channel Tress is on it. And here it is. Can't play anything because it might get cut. But that I love that song. It's a little bit of a French vibe, sort of Justice type. What was it called? Like electro house or something. It's very cold and machinist. But Soul Wax have this specific sound, and it's a real banger. So if you want to hear a banger today and you haven't heard that song yet, take a listen. But it's very important that it's the Soul Wax remix, because the other one I can't recommend, the original version. Okay. Let's see. We have 3 sounds here. And then the last one, I think I'll have to find that manually. That's Otis making strange noises. Okay, great. Let's see what we got. One was from Frederik, and it's a djembe video. Hi, Morten. Why can't I hear it, though? Is it this? It is. Okay. Let's turn it down a little bit. How long should we use on this challenge? No, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, I'm gonna unwarp it just to hear what's going on.
With some fills in between.
Yeah, I can hear that, Frederik. It has a great sound. No, it sounds like I've already been doing lo-fi stuff to it. Okay, so I'm just listening through it for my favorite bit. We could do some J. Paul inspired shit with this, since he is one of my favorite artists also. I love that you can hear the fan in the left speaker. So yes, the left speaker. So much, it really gives it a great vibe. I think this is my favorite part. It's also a Rangleclass type of tempo. So let's use that. And maybe... This is great. We have a few bars of just the noise that might come in handy. Okay, so I think I hear the one here. Okay, and this is a couple of bars. Anne-Marie, if you're still watching, this is one of the great things about Ableton is this its ability to warp the audio to the tempo you need. And I would say it has the best sounding algorithms to stretch the time. Oh, sorry, screen. My bad. Why do I always forget? Albert, where are you when I need you, man? So something like this. Okay, I'm starting to use the Pingo tune. Spooky shit. I definitely think, also because the audio quality of it is a bit wild, so I think this is one of the ones where we... Yeah, that was pretty nice. Yeah. All I did there was just transpose it one octave down, and we got... Okay, and it should hit like... Oh. You know what? We can do two things, and what I would like to do right now is... This sounds to me like a Timbaland beat. Why is this not fully in time the way I want it to? Maybe it's just a little too early. Is it like this? Yeah, perfect. And then I'll try to reverse this bit. Okay, cool, Yevs. Then I'm already ready for the next challenge. Then I'll throw that otter thing into a MIDI track and slice it. That way I can start playing it maybe as a synth. We'll see. Let's see if this works. Hey man. Kind of sounds Middle Eastern or something. That which is good, because I said we were doing some Timberland shit. Okay. What do you mean, Yevs? A reverse attacked bass? Do you mean like a bass sound or? Okay, let's see if we can make that sound even more like a flute or something. In that case, I'm going to distort it, of course, and remove some high end, and maybe we can get that fluttery sound. Too much. Okay, I'm going to put it through, put on an EQ. To give a massive boost to the low end before it goes into the distortion. Better, and then maybe remove the alias stuff. And then let's see if there's another let's see if there's another sound available for the second one. Wow. Pretty cool. It's also I'm thinking it's a little bit like that stupid scene in Star Wars with the. I could see them play this. Cool, Scotty. And have I seen your name in the chat before? I don't think so. But welcome and thanks. Do you think it's an a cappella that could be used this time around? Yeah, it's the cantina. Let's just let's see if I can we might get a copyright thing. I don't think so, though. Oh, this is just the song. I want the actual. Where's the band? I just want to see if it works. There we go. There they are. This is such a stupid scene. It's so dumb that it works. Ah, okay, cool. All right, that's cool. I still have a few things I want to do to this one. I want it to be more. Could we still remove some more of that harshness? Maybe like that. But isn't it amazing that you can take an otter and all I've done is transpose it. Well, some pretty steep equalization here. And then distortion. And that's it. Now it's some type of a woodwind being played hauntingly in the desert instead. I haven't even tuned it at anything. This is just how it came out. Let's add some Timberland drums. I may even have a Timberland folder. I'm not sure. I do, yeah. In here, Timberland. Well, it's not official, but someone made something to. That's kind of a Timberland clap. Maybe that one. So I'm just gonna make a few tracks of just some quick sounds. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I do have the perfect library in Dust Collections, I would think. And then what's his name? Come on, man. Think. Maybe I didn't put it in here. 1 second. There's this very specific folder that I'm looking for, and I will find it. Holy fuck, that's annoying. This one, Sound Oracle. Cool. Like that, perhaps. Should be fine. Then I'll probably want a snare. Maybe that one. And then a kick. Important. It could be something like this. And then let's listen and try to think of a vibe. and just go straight into it. Just try stuff. Not half bad. And then we need to get out of the grid now. Why is this one so low? Okay, because of that and that and that. Okay, I'm gonna need some better claps. That one's fine. Okay, now, yeah, that kick is perfect for it. Hej Otto. Let's clean up the djembe a little bit. I'm going to use the Pro MB as I basically always do for expansion. Let's add another round because I have this very specific fill in mind. A type of like machine gun type vibe. So something like that, and then let's try to open the filter up like that. Okay. Yes, but then twice as fast here. Brrr is what I'm looking for. You know what? Let's try to. I have all these amazing effects that we could throw on here. I'm specifically thinking on the saxophone thing. Let's just call it the saxophone. Holy fuck. Yeah, strangeness. Thanks, Marcus. I haven't played Far Cry. I don't know, but I'll take your word for it, Jevs. Maybe not these so much as the kind of thunder. Nope, don't like it. You know what? It's nice that it's so tight. Okay, since it's Timberland inspired, one thing that's important here is that the drums are like insanely high, because his always are. Like if you listen to a Timberland song, the drums are by far the loudest thing. So that helps, I think. To get us there, and then I need to do a quick envelope on this kick to not have the noise as a part of it. Maybe like 750, 250. Yeah. But one thing we do need, I think, is to add some chorus or whatever to this sound. Just to make it wider. Let's try. Yeah. Let's see what I got. I think I have some. Too obvious. I don't like it. Melodic. Let's see if I can find some. It's not that, is it? Let's try that one. I want to add some more dirt things. Okay, so it's officially in something like... Exactly. This is such a Furtado thing. I couldn't agree more. Actually, fuck that, what I was just doing. And let's instead see if I can find some sort of... some chords. I'll just take a whatever sound. So I think it's something like F minor. I think. As I've told you before, chords are not my it's not my strong suit. I can do it, but it's not where I'm. It's also because this is out of my Western way of thinking chord, because it's more like an Arabian type. What's the word? Key? No, scale. Let's hear it, Yevs. Actually, let me get that thing, that a cappella. And we can try to make something work with that, because I kind of want it to be a little bit naked. I could always add more, but who the fuck cares? That if it's got a vibe, it's got a vibe. So this is the a cappella that Marcus Ambrosius, our emperor, shared on Discord. Let's see what it sounds like. I think he said something like the good part started a minute and a half in. Well, yes, it looks like it. Over here, I have no idea what it is. I'll unwarp it. Okay, it definitely has that Arabian vibe. I think I'll try to again do an octave lower thing. Okay, cool. Then let me auto-tune that to make it in perfect pitch with the other bits. Yeah, better. That's a fun break as well, actually. Love it. But hey, I think my best trick that I can share with you right here is my use of upwards expansion with Pro MB, because we almost made this djembe sound like it was recorded in the studio, and that it sounds great. We went from, which is cool. too. And actually maybe add a little bit of distortion now. Hey, Brandon. I was wondering where the fuck you were. Glad you're here. I'm doing a challenge, and somehow we ended up making Desert Trap. And apparently there's another song too. Yeah, that could work. That could work. 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna get one more sound in here. How are you, Brandon? It's so strange because it sounds like 3 different notes. Yeah. I just saw the episode of BoJack Horseman yesterday where Todd comes up with the idea because kids love clowns to make a clown dentist office. I don't know if that would help you, man. If it had been a clown who did the work. Okay, let's see if I can make something of it. It really almost sounds gross, I would say, but we need to remove all the all the top, and then I want to distort this one big time. Probably Decapitator. Oh, man, I mean, isn't it amazing? Here we go. Yeah, that's great. Love that. Now maybe I have to tune it now. We'll see. I think so. Okay, and I have no idea where, so it's gonna sound dumb for a second. Actually, maybe I should look at a tuner, see if it picks it up. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Doom, doom, doom. So if that is a G, and I'm pretty sure we're in F, I can try to put it down 2 semitones. I think it's more like this is a different part of the song. I wanted to maybe it should go to it after that break. If we continue it a few times, and then it could be like, and maybe if there's a silent moment in that file, let's see, maybe that bit twice. I like this sound. Does anyone have like perfect pitch and can hear how I should pitch this sample? Close. Dun, dun. I just need to do the exact same on this sound where I remove some high end and distort it again. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Okay, so that's in perfect pitch. That's fine. Oh, perfect for this song. So I just need to dun, dun, and then that needs to be the same. So is that one more? Something like that, and then maybe these need to be dun. Be open to the idea, Brandon. Clown dentist, man. I think that's the future. I think that is the future of dentistry. How could it not be? Okay, let's see what we got. I think there's something interesting going on. It's also fucking stupid, but that's kind of also the best thing about it. Okay, so I'm gonna make this an instrument. Mime dentist. Yeah, that's way better. That is way better. Who doesn't love a mime? I mean, a person who doesn't like a mime is just insane to me. It's the pinnacle of art, probably. Just for fun. No. Oh, fuck. Sure. Then let me save that. Good call, Yevs. I think we just solved the issue of kids not liking dentists. Well, kids and Brandon not liking dentists. Who knew it was that simple? Okay, I think those are the chords. Now let me try another sound. I like it way better without. Fuck that. Or maybe, I mean, if it should be like extremely cheap, a mallet kind of that type of thing. Definitely fits it better. Did you did you fall into it, or did you get away from it, Brandon? Like, did you start spending money, and did you control yourself? Because I just fell into another trap because I realized that I didn't have exactly the only thing that I was missing. Of course, the only thing that I was missing was exactly the compressor that I needed. So I kind of bought two, but they were super cheap. It's the Klanghelm ones, and I've never tried them before, but especially this MJUC thing, it sounds pretty spectacular on stuff, and it's simple, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna start using that primarily. It's these two, and then the Marquis comp. And this might be still my favorite. I think that this one, the Marquis comp, I know this one very well now. I'm pretty sure it's a Russian developer or something. It's old. This is at least 10 years old. It has the best sound to me. It really grabs the audio. But let's see if I get as happy with the DC8C3. But I need help. I do buy way too many plugins. But hey, we keep the industry going, man. I'm hungry. I might need more coffee. I think although nah, you know what? I have a fucking banana. I'll take care of it. I'll just go off mic for a second, have a few bites, because that's gross. No one wants to watch that or listen to it. More importantly, but I think this is what I made with that challenge. Let's listen one more time, and then move on from it because it was fun, and for sure, every single thing that I made from it, I'll put on the Patreon right after I end this one, and then you can get the different stems, whatever you want to use it for. The Patreon is I've talked about it before. It's a place for you to support me if you want to. It's fairly cheap, and you get a lot of samples that I make. And I'll definitely upload these samples as well. Yeah, Brandon. I mean, the Lion synth is super important to me right now. Let me just real quick show you. If you join me on Patreon, you get to hear songs that were unreleased. I have like tons of samples already, and there's just gonna be more and more uploaded all the time. There are Ableton racks that I've made, stems. You get the home EP in perfect quality, story time, whatever. But oftentimes, if I make sounds like this during the stream and you think, well, I might be able to use that for something, most often I'll just upload it right after. Anyways, the Lion synth, it's so funny. To me, that is a one trick pony, but I cannot do without it now. It has the bass sound that I use for basically everything, and you have heard it. It's I must use it. I think I use it on 3 out of 4 new songs, and it's got this. And this, I mean, it doesn't sound like anything. It's just what it is just a wave folded sine wave, but this sound is so difficult to make. I've tried it in tons of other synthesizers. Yeah, and I know I'm not helping right now. Yeah, I use it for that, and then just randomizing all parameters in it and making new sounds, but. This is just the perfect bass for me right now. So strange. I've never loved the bass sound as much as I love this one. It shouldn't really. Oh, I forgot about the screen again. That's a great sounding sea lion. Marcus, I haven't thought of tune yards in forever, but you're so right. She had that sound. She had that very specific sound. She was fucking cool, man. I think I'm going to listen to some tune yards later on. That's a good jam. All I ever want to do is... Okay. Any last things we should do before we end today's stream? And then I think actually, even though it's Friday tomorrow and I rarely stream on a Friday. Hello, Joe. Thank you. Maybe we should do a stream tomorrow again. Maybe a little bit later, and if so, I think. Okay, here's the plan. I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Let's say instead of starting at 2, we'll start at 4. We'll start at 4 tomorrow. And then, first of all, I'm just gonna move this so you can see. It's been too long since I did anything on. What do you mean, Brandon? Yeah, I'm not gonna work more on this song we just did. That's for sure. If that's what you mean, it's just a jam. But this guy, the TI-8S, I think I want to jam on that one. It's the drum machine where we can get into sort of classic territory real quick, and maybe so we can make a quick beat on the TI-8S and some finger drumming. Should it be on the shelf once again, or should I find something new? Maybe I can find something new to finger drum on. And let me just write this down so I actually remember it. TR8S finger drumming 4 o'clock tomorrow. That's the plan. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, drum machine, finger drumming, maybe a dumb bass line. Let's have fun for like an hour or two, see whatever happens. And until then, I'm just going to play you out with whatever's going to happen right now. How about that one? No, not that one. Should it be? No, not that one either. Is it that one? No, it's not that one either. It is. It's none of these. Oh man, I just wanted one where you could. It's just gonna be this one then. Don't you just love it when you hit the wrong note as the very last one? I do. See you tomorrow. It's nice to be back. I'm going to make sure that my schedule is a little bit more steady the next couple of weeks. Ciao. Take care, guys.